looking for something. A new way, a new understanding, a connection, some comfort. You've got questions, and Light on Living puts the spotlight on all the answers so you can shine. Lift and lighten the load of life's challenges and learn simple and easy ways to live a healthy, happy life. You'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you. You're invited to hear new, see different, and feel more as Lisa shines the light on living.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Monday in October. I love October months. Well, you're listening to Light on Living, and you are here because I and we and everybody who comes on here just wants to give you reasons to feel better. It's so much easier when you don't have to take on the world and you can just go, I just want to feel a little better. So today is a really, really fun topic and show because not only do I have a special guest co-host with me, but this fella just loves getting a hold of something like a decision to make in your life and taking on that challenge. Like, how do I make this decision? How do I decide? And then how do I follow through? So I'm really happy to be bringing on Tomás Garza. And just when I say hello here, I want to let you guys know he is the author of the book Decide. Like, what a great title. And really, this is how to replace your fictions with truth, go big in life, and transform audaciously. And I love that he does that. And he teaches meditation, and he's got the coolest life story you could ever imagine. And you're going to hear a bit about it, but he's going to be leading us in a guided meditation about halfway through the show. But let's welcome Tomás as a co-host today.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really, really happy to be here today.
Oh, and you have such a great voice, guys. Really listen to that voice. You want him to lead you in meditation.
We will certainly do that. No, thank you.
So I love to start because I'm so happy to be doing this show with you and not just interviewing you, because you have this way of leading conversation, leading questions that you bring up to somebody and then have this perspective that you can share to really take them in a new direction, like an audaciously different direction.
Yes.
And
right.
So with Decide, just give us the thing. Did you find making decisions difficult? Like, is that what this whole thing came about? Why Decide?
This came about because I just began to hear people talking about the importance of making a decision. And it's one of those things that, as I went through my life, made sense, but I never paid particular attention to the importance of making a decision, to the primacy of making a decision. And it really began for me, the momentum of starting to write the book, and the idea came from teaching a meditation class just a year ago, just a little over a year ago. And I would hear people that came to the class, and they would give every excuse in the book. I mean, I love them where they are, right? But I would hear every excuse in the book for why they couldn't continue, and why they would come to a few classes and then stop short after they had made some progress in meditation, had gotten used to it. And I just thought this would be something that I think would be very, very handy for people to have, maybe some sort of a practical manual about our limiting stories, because what I realized is that there are many, many limiting stories that we all tell ourselves and we conveniently choose to believe, and they block growth, they block change, they block real transformation in our lives. Now, that was the genesis of the book, and then I was writing it, and as I was doing that, it occurred to me that a real decision, a simple decision to make change, is what people need in order to do it. Otherwise, they dabble and they attend one or two meditation classes. And if you've, as a listener, if you've never done that, if you've practiced yoga or joined a gym or something like that without a decision to make real change, for example, these are the people that say they are donating to 24-hour fitness after going twice in the course of 6 months or something like that, which I think we've all done in one form or another.
I like that. That's first of all, when you said there about something blocking your growth and then limiting beliefs, because you're right. Like in order to make a decision, there's so many things that do block us from deciding to grow, but it's those, I love that you call them fictions as opposed to lies or stories. They're just this thing that we've kind of made up or have just adopted, this way of thinking that's stopping us from making a decision, which in turn can stop us from making the commitment to meditate or do something that we need to do full time.
Yes.
Yeah. No, fictions. I love that you say replace your fictions with truths. And this is what today's show is about. And I'm glad you're here to do this with us because I do have a question. Now I'm sure I have to end up interviewing you a little bit because
Oh, that's absolutely fine.
you know what? These questions that I think about, I love that it's replace your fictions with truth because we don't need to dissolve or clear. It's literally replacing. We're refocusing something that's actually going to serve us. So can you go through, share with us some of those fictions? You have top 4 fictions that we actually say quite a bit and that you're going to actually help us get through today.
All right. Well, and I chose these, incidentally, the table of contents in the book lists 15 that I just sort of came up with from my own experience, not just teaching people in meditation or in other walks of life, but these are all things that I've been guilty of saying to myself again and again, and I've been just as guilty as anyone else of indulging these fictions and blocking my own growth in the past. And I just thought there was a lot of energy around these. So what I've done here is there are 4 that really just sort of jumped out at me that that when we were talking, we thought we would talk about here on the show today. And those are the fiction, the limiting belief, I can't. Another is I'm not good enough, and you can insert whatever adjective you want in place of good. I'm not tall enough, I'm not old enough, I'm not qualified enough, I'm not young enough, or if you like, I'm too old, I'm too young, I don't have the right graduate degree, for example. And there's the fiction of I'm stuck where I am, and another that has come up with a lot of energy lately is this is all a waste of time.
Oh, I hate that one. No,
Yes.
wasting is such on every level. I think I struggle. I like everything. Go, oh my gosh, what a waste of my time. What a waste of food. What a waste of this. You know, what a commitment and all this stuff. But what's interesting, I got to talk to you about this one. It's I'm stuck where I am. I'm stuck. Okay. That is a fun thing that you chose as being a fiction we can tell ourselves, because somebody could really sit back and go, no, I really am stuck. Like I guess all of them, but that one's like they're literally looking at their life and their reality is giving them evidence that they are really stuck. And the more we say that, do we just dig our heels in and get more stuck?
Well, yes, we do. In a word, we do get more stuck. What I wanted to draw people's attention to with writing the book, and when I teach meditation, it's like this: is people feel like they cannot move, and we've all had that experience in life, whether it was a relationship that really wasn't working out for us, and we were reluctant to get out of it for whatever reason. We felt stuck. I would say almost all of us can relate to having a job situation that we felt stuck in for whatever reason. Maybe it was the paycheck that we needed, or we just weren't in a place to move forward from that. And really these untruths, these fictions that we talk about as limiting stories, can apply to any aspect of your life. It can apply to your job or career, your relationships. It can apply to spiritual growth if that's something someone is interested in doing. And it can most certainly apply to your physical health. And people do feel stuck. We see it everywhere all the time. People say, I'm just stuck. I feel stuck.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about with replacing the limiting beliefs is really getting to a space just where you're able to entertain a different belief or a different perspective. And it may sound completely radical at the time, because if you feel stuck, then if someone tells you, oh, you're not stuck, you're not. I am never stuck. I'm stuck where I am is just one of the limiting beliefs. And another thing is having the audacity to believe that you are more than just your limitations.
I dropped out there for a second, but I'm back in, and I decided to join again. And what was you know what? Because I missed that last sentence you said, but I was going to say with the because I don't know how far you went with the limiting. When I want to go back to when you say that you're stuck, you reminded me of something really silly, funny, where we can all relate to. Is have you ever said, oh, there's something in the refrigerator, you know it's there, you open the door to look in it, and you're like, I can't find it, but you know it's there. And so you ask somebody else, hey, where is this in the fridge? And then they're like, no, it's there. So you have this, like what you would say, it's almost like you can't see it. You're physically stuck, you can't find it or something, but you kind of know that it is there. So is it almost like having faith in that you could reach, like think another thing, be another place and move on to it? Like just having faith in that it's possible?
Yes, it is. And what's really interesting about trying to replace a limiting belief with something more empowering that will enable you to grow, that will enable you to transform, is that it's a lot like faith in that belief is not required. That you don't have to believe that you're not stuck in order to make significant progress toward unsticking yourself.
Okay, wait, hold on. That's cool. That's perfect to use this analogy. You don't have to believe that you are not stuck or that you're stuck.
Right. You don't have to believe the reality is we're not stuck, because physically it's impossible for ourselves to be stuck. As we all know, for example, a table and a chair, the molecules in a table or a chair or a house or something that appears stationary to us, they're all moving just at much slower velocities. Now, everything is constantly in motion. Literally, it's not possible to be stuck, yet we create these scenarios in our minds. And it's not required. If somebody believes that they're really stuck, yet they yearn for change, they want to grow, they want to better or get out of their situation, whatever it is, people have a thirst for this type of transformation. And it's not required when you set out to believe that you're never stuck. It's like setting out on the journey, but you're not entirely sure of the next step or where you're going, and you don't know necessarily that the end result's even going to be there when you arrive, but you simply take one step at a time.
Right. I like that. I think that. And even that goes really well with I'm not good enough, because it's not true that really there's no one out, I don't know if I'm in double negative here, but there is no one out there that truly is not good enough, because that's our own judgment. And we could, if we really could decide and make that choice, like, no, I am good enough. I mean, you literally snap your fingers and now you are. So nothing really changed other than your belief.
Right. And what you tell yourself really, really critically matters. And as we go through life, that's not immediately obvious to us, because a lot of these truths are very, very clear, and they make sense to us when we pause to consider them. But that's part of the issue for people in life, is we don't pause. We're carried off by one distraction after another, and we never take the time to do an exercise like the one we're going to do later on the show, where we just slow down and drop out of the constant barrage, whether it's our Twitter feed or our social media or our email, the phone, the kids, whatever it is for people, right? It's something that's always there to carry us away. So these are things that sound obvious, and they are. They are, in fact, obvious. We just don't take the time out of our daily lives to pay any attention to them. And when we do, we can begin to start a process of transformation.
Okay, so I want to share, I have a really big question, and everybody's going to want to hear the answer. I'm going to make them wait till after commercial, but the question I want to ask you is, how do we identify the fictions in our lives? How do we identify, okay, that's what I must be thinking or believing or telling myself because I'm not getting or being here or transforming? So I want to just hang on to that question so when we come back, everybody can start identifying their untruths, their fictions. But we're back with Tomás Garza.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio, IOM FM. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
We have all read about or heard about becoming more spiritual, about working with our energy, the awakening, the shift, about being our authentic selves, living our purpose, reaching our true potential. The challenge doesn't lie in the knowledge, it lies in the execution. The struggle becomes connecting to that limitless self-healing part that each one of us has and gaining control of who we truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Reverend Aisha Hogan, and you are invited to join me on a master's practice on OMTimes. Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard and 11 a.m. Pacific Standard.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Light on Living. I've got Tomás Garza co-hosting with me today, and I'm just left us with the big all-important question here, Tomás, of how do we identify our fictions and untruths that are, not letting us move forward, really?
Okay. Well, there's several ways that we can really do that. One of them is just to pay attention to what we say, because people will tell everybody. They'll tell the world what their limiting beliefs are simply by saying, oh, I can't do that, or this is just not for me. For example, it comes out of our mouths all of the time, and people identify with these. And they say, oh, I'm too young for this, I'm too old for that, for example, or I can't join a gym, I'm not athletic enough. Well, that's really not the point. One can't become more fit or athletic unless they actually do the work to do it. But this is one way, and it's just an obvious way. And as I was writing the book, Decide, what I thought I would do is just invite people that may be reading to look at the table of contents and pick which of these chapters, which is a limiting story. 15 of the chapters in the book are based on these limiting stories, and just to self-identify which one is more applicable to your life. That is something that people could certainly do. And another way that people can identify their limiting stories is to pay attention to what they really want to do, to what kind of transformation they really want, and think backwards from there as to what's in the way of that.
I have to write that down. What kind of transformation do you want, and what's in the way? Oh my gosh, that's like a workshop.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Funny you should say that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, a funny thing to ask, when I'm thinking about what those limiting things, like, okay, to identify what I have this funny, I'm going to call it a limiting belief. I don't see this is like I'd be a good candidate for this one. I hate wearing footwear, like shoes, and I literally will not go to things because I'm like, nah, that's way too long. I'm not wearing shoes for 4 hours, right? Now, but if I know it's an actual extreme, but the thing is, I'm like, okay, wait a second. If I wanted a transformation in my life around that one, like, I'm like, yeah, the transformation would be, I'd really like to go to an event and be okay with being there for 8 hours, right? That's my transformation I would want. And then I kind of would have to go backwards, right? Like saying, okay, so what's in the way? Okay, shoes are in the way. So clearly I'm going to go to barefoot events, obviously. No, no, but I'm just joking because that would be a limiting thing. But is this something like that people would literally walk through this kind of exercise for, like to help like that, just as simple, so to speak, as that?
It can be. And in fact, what I've found in my experience is that transformation is very, very simple. It's a matter of identifying what's holding us back and then choosing to replace that limiting belief with something that's more inspiring, that's more empowering, more positive. And it's simple, but the important piece here is that it doesn't make it easy. Simple and easy are not necessarily the same thing, as we all experience every day.
Mm-hmm. I love that you said that, actually. I want everybody to hear it. You heard it from Tomás Garza first. Transformation is simple. Okay, guys? I love that.
Yes.
Well, I know that we're going to be doing a meditation exercise just shortly, and you and I we were calling this the opening up meditation, and share with everybody why we came up with that and why opening is important.
Opening is important. If you've ever practiced meditation, you'll know that this is one of the possible benefits of a meditation practice. And whether you've been doing it for 30 years or whether you've only done it once or twice, it's opening. And what it really means is we're not actually physically taking a vice and prizing ourselves open. However, we're mentally and psychologically, emotionally making some space for ourselves to consider different possibilities in life. It's just to see things, to experience things differently. Because one of the things that one of my former spiritual teachers told me that I loved was, nothing exists until you experience it. That's worth repeating. Nothing exists until you experience it. And all of this is about experience. Meditation is all about experience. Spirituality is all about experience. And that's why I say it's okay to not believe in a positive statement when you start out, because if you haven't experienced it, then fine, it doesn't exist for you, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist for other people, and it most certainly does not mean that you cannot access that yourself.
Okay, question about the experiencing thing. Whilst in meditation, and we're creating this space of entertaining the thoughts of other possibilities, is that an experience? Are we experiencing the possibility, like, meaning, you don't mean, do you mean physically have to experience it, or can we still experience something in meditation and just by imagining it?
Yes, you can most certainly experience it by visualizing, by imagining. We're using our minds, and that's the energy, I guess, for lack of a better word, behind it.
Yes, I love that. And it's funny, when we were talking, I love that you say something. Both you and I share this. So this was like, I was so excited because sometimes I get really, like, I don't know, the word empowerment, just, I don't know. It just doesn't, and I expressed this to you and said, yeah, I'm not really loving the word empowering or empowerment, but you said something and I went, oh my gosh, my new word, my new term. And you called it all powerful. And just because I know when in this meditation, can people feel all powerful as opposed to empowered when they meditate?
Yes. I would say most definitely the answer to that is yes, from personal experience. And of course, it's all about the meditator's own experience. And if they don't believe that that's possible, if you don't believe that's possible, if you're listening and you are considering trying a meditation practice or a yoga practice or something spiritual along those lines, if you don't believe that it's possible, wait until it actually does happen for you, and that will be a completely different situation. So yes.
Yeah.
That was a long way of saying yes.
I love it. Yeah, I love the extension on yes. Well, this is really neat because right now I know that we've let all the listeners know that you're going to take us through a guided meditation, and really the purpose of this is, yes, to open up and make space to consider a new possibility, a new perspective to truly being all powerful and not allowing the untruths and fictions to control their lives, but to step into and replace them with positive, uplifting, helpful truths, new ways of being.
Yes. Yes, most
You're my
definitely.
yes guy. I love it. Well,
That's all I can say. Yes, yes.
Well, I would love for you. Let us know which do you want. Are we going to work on all four of these limiting beliefs, or how do you want to work the meditation for everybody right now?
As we do the meditation exercise, I will focus. Let's focus on the belief, on the limiting belief, I can't.
Okay.
On that one. That's going to be the primary limiting belief that we'll work on in this exercise. And this can be done for any of the limiting beliefs, or it can also be done in general. Because what it's about is opening up some space to consider a different possibility in life.
Okay. I love it. Well, everybody, Tomás Garza, I love this name. Tomás Garza is going to lead us in maybe a 5 to 6 minute meditation, give or take. So if everybody, we're not going to do the rest of the show in it. We're going to come back to you, but we're going to let Tomás lead us into changing our untruths and fictions into truths and being all powerful.
Wonderful. So wherever you find yourself, we'll do about a 5 or 6 minute meditation, and there will not be, because we're on the air, any kind of shavasana or period of silence following this. Do this if you're seated at home or if you're on the couch or in bed, reclined. So wherever you find yourself, just make yourself as comfortable as you can as we go through this exercise for 5 to 6 minutes. And as you get comfortable, just breathe in and out normally. In breath and out breath. And pay attention to your breath. Pay attention on the in-breath to the air filling your lungs. Pay attention to it coming through your nose or mouth or both, and expanding your diaphragm as it fills your body. And on the exhale, pay attention to the breath leaving your body. And it's important to just breathe normally, in and out. And just watch and pay attention to the physical sensations of your breath. And we are relaxing here, relaxing into a place where we can begin to see things differently. So notice how your in and out breath feels. Are you calmer? Does it feel for you differently than your regular life when you are not practicing a meditation? Are you having different thoughts? In other words, are you experiencing things differently? If you are, notice these. Just pay attention to any way that you're having a different sensation or having a different experience than you would have normally. And notice how quickly and how easily this space can be accessed. This is, in fact, something that you can do at any time, wherever you may find yourself, morning, night, afternoon, any time. So in this space, let's consider some different possibilities. Your usual in life does not control you. Invite yourself to consider that. Your routine, your job, your relationship, perhaps, does not control you. It does not define you. And there just might be more out there in life for you to experience. This could be in any aspect of life. It could be your personal relationships. It could be your job or career. It could be your spiritual path. This could also apply to your physical health or any combination of these. There might be more out there for you. And as you breathe in and out, entertain this thought that there is more out there for you to experience. As you do, you may find a voice whispering in your ear, telling you that you can't do this, that you're too old, you are too young, you're not qualified, you are overqualified. Oh, this is just not for me. I don't have the right graduate degree. I don't have the time. I'm not in the right place. You may find this voice talking to you. It may be whispering to you. It may be shouting at you. If you are experiencing this voice, please understand that this happens to all of us all of the time. You are exactly where you need to be and where you're supposed to be to consider in this space that you've created that there is an alternative to this voice. There is something that you could choose to believe instead. And rather than say, I can't, consider telling yourself, I can. And invite the possibility that you can. Rather than, I can't, I can. I can. I am. And breathe normally. In and out, and let us sit with this sensation for 3 more in and out breath cycles. I can. I am. I can. I am. I can. I am. And wherever you are, if your eyes are closed, at your leisure, at your own comfort level, begin to open your eyes, and as you go forward, make the effort as often as you can to remember just how easy and how accessible this state of mind is. It is something we can all reach.
And you know what? This is a perfect time, Tomás. Thank you. As we're sneaking to a commercial break, but everybody take this commercial break time to just come back to present there and hear some more words on the meditation for when we get back. Okay? Thank you, Tomás. That was beautiful.
You're welcome.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Mind connected to the heart, connected to the love, connected to the soul. I'm connected to you, connected to me, connected to us.
The Connection app, the perfect way to get to know your partner, yourself, and love more deeply. Download and join today.
Mind connected to the heart, connected to the love, connected to the soul. I'm connected to you, connected to me.
For those times when you're looking for insight and additional tools to living your most elevated life, there's no better place to turn than Intuitive Alchemy Radio. Join me, Laura Brown, each Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations, live on-the-air readings, and tools to help you build your most aligned, most abundant, and most delicious life.
Mother, Mother Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Buffett. West Indian manatees are one of the most unique animals on Earth, and we're still finding out so many new things about them. But manatees are endangered, and many of them are killed or injured each year because of watercraft collisions or other human activities. You can help save these gentle marine mammals. For free tips on what you can do, call Save the Manatee Club at 1-800-432-JOIN. Thank you.
Oh, I am just so glad that all of you are with us right now. I did not do it. Tomás Garza did it, actually. He just led a really beautiful meditation. And I always am reminded, Tomás, that was just beautiful. I'm always so reminded at how I know I need those moments too, because I completely went into a different space, a different speed. Do you find that with people? Like it's just a whole different speed.
Yes, and I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. It's really fun to lead these meditations. I have to say, it's really wonderful to see people experience what I've experienced sometimes in meditation. It is getting to just a different speed. I think that's a really good way of putting it, because we in 21st century life are just going at warp speed all of the time. So to slow down is, in fact, remarkable. It's radical, in fact.
Yes, talk about an audacious transformation. For me, I was like, actually, the one thing I felt the most, which I wonder how many other people, if anybody else felt this, I want you to message me. Go on Facebook and just pop in, yes, I did, or give me a sign that, you did too. But what I felt, Tomás, was I felt like I finally, for those few moments, committed to the now. I literally was in the now and I was committed to it. There was nothing, like no past, no future, no crazy brain was able to sneak in there.
Yes.
I
think that's great.
Yeah, and question: Do you close your eyes? Do you find that most people close their eyes, or is it more helpful when you close your eyes to do this?
I think that there's no requirement. There's no right or wrong way to do any kind of meditation. And in fact, that's a limiting story. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a limiting story that keeps people from doing it. Right. I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing this right. I must be doing it wrong. Therefore, I'm going to give up. That's what we tend to tell ourselves. But just showing up with the intention to meditate, and if the word meditate makes you uncomfortable for whatever reason, it does generate all kinds of resistance for all kinds of people, not all, but some. And it's just a matter of the decision to show up. And if you do that, a really successful meditation can be as short as one breath cycle. That's really literally all that it takes to have a very successful meditation, because if you're able to get comfortable wherever you are and breathe in and out once while placing your awareness on that breath, that is a meditation. And everyone has time for it. Why? Because we all have time for our next breath.
Yes, I love that you said that. Oh, because I remember you shared that with me like maybe a week or two ago, and I was like, so that transformed. That was a transformation for me when you said that. And here you go. You're true to your word. You said transformation is simple, and there it is. And with that, you made me think of something. So, when sometimes we can get so frustrated or whatever or we have relief, but we let out a sigh, like just one breath. We go, ah. Is that possibly even just a breath of meditation in a way?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Any activity, it is. It most certainly is. Any activity that you perform while being aware of it is a meditation.
Oh.
That's what
wait,
is.
Say that again. Oh.
Yes. Yeah. Any activity that you perform, whatever it is, if you bring your awareness to it, if you're literally there paying attention to what it is that you're doing, in other words, if you're present with it, that is a meditation. So it is entirely possible to cook and meditate. And that's something I do because I love to cook. But it's possible to walk and meditate, to go to the gym and meditate, to play with your cat or dog and meditate.
I was so happy you said that. I was thinking that.
Cool. Very cool.
So that you just made it so here we are. We have no time limits, no location limits, no skill level limits around meditation.
That's true. Anyone can do it, and you do not have to belong to an Eastern religious or spiritual tradition in order to do it. You don't have to practice yoga to do it. It's something that's accessible. It's accessible, and in fact, I learned to meditate from, of all people, my high school geometry teacher in the mid-1980s, which seems unlikely, but he had us meditate at least once or twice a week at the beginning of class, just so that we were more relaxed and more present. And of course, I was a sophomore in high school, so you can imagine a lot of the kids were rolling their eyes. They were throwing spit wads. This was before cell phones. Otherwise, they would have been on their Instagram feeds and not paying attention, right? But I actually resonated with it, and that started what has become a lifelong practice.
And the reason why, guys, if you're just thinking, okay, it's not compartmentalized here. We're talking about meditation here and turning, fiction to truths. Why meditation? We're using this as a, tool for I'm going to use the word tool. We're using it as a tool to allow us to have the space and a place to go in and what are we introducing just non-resistant space, or is this where we're introducing that new alternative way of thinking about those fictions?
Well, what we can do all kinds of things. It's when we get out of the same old, our warp speed 21st century rat race, and it is very much a mental rat race. We're consumed by our devices almost all the time. As long as the Wi-Fi is working, we're connected, right? And you can reach a space where really anything is possible. It can open up a place for you, just some mental space where these other thoughts, these more uplifting and transformational thoughts, can come in, where they can have a voice in your mind. For lack of a better word, they can just create some space, and that's what they're doing. They can come in when you are a little bit more relaxed, and for many people, just the simple relaxation is enough, and that will, in time, if you continue to come back to that through repeated practice, which is certainly the best, then you can have more access to this place where it's easier for you to entertain thoughts, easier for you to entertain beliefs that break the mold, which is really what people have always come to me wanting to do, but so many people just don't know how. And this is one tool, one of many, of course, but certainly one that I recommend that people make use of.
Yeah, well, you've made it certainly very simple for people to do this now. Like you've just wiped away all excuses, by the way. Thank you. And
You're welcome.
you just reminded me of in 2012. I specifically remember this. I read something and I went, oh my gosh, that's going on a sticky right on my desk, right in front of me, right? And what it was, and it's so of course it comes out that I'm talking to you, the author of the book titled Decide. The sticky note I wrote on it said, when you are stressed, you cannot make decisions. And it was a reminder to me that, hey, look, don't stress. I'm getting stressed out because I couldn't make decisions, but because I was stressed out. But I was like, whoa, I need to find a way to lessen this resistance, to lower my stress, to stop the overwhelm, to quiet my mind so that I can make a decision, so I can decide, I can hear my choices. And you just reminded me that when you're saying when we do this meditate, we can relax, lower the stress, and then decide.
Yes. And it's really, as you say, it's very, very difficult if we're stressed out, if we're all consumed on something else. Then the more empowering statement, the different way of life that we're trying to get to just doesn't have a voice, and it doesn't have a foothold, it doesn't have a place if we're just myopically focused on being stuck, for example, or on the fact that we can't, or we're too old, too young, whatever it is for somebody.
You maybe just think about because you talk about it giving space to have a voice. Well, we can't be all powerful if we don't have a voice. So when we give that voice a chance, that's when we become all powerful and where all things are possible.
Yes.
That is so
And they
beautiful.
are.
I would love for you to share with people where you are right now, because you have such a fascinating life and all things are possible. Just to give us a background on where you are, the location, and where you are also other places.
Well, I'd be happy to. My wife Cindy and I are currently in the city of Mérida in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. Some of you may have been there or you know of it. And this is where we find ourselves today and tomorrow. We have come into town because we have a couple of appointments here in town, and we live actually on the beach about 50 kilometers from here. Right. We live on the beach on the Gulf of Mexico, and this was a conscious choice that we made 2 years ago. We had been in situations where we could work in a location-independent manner. I know not everyone is in that situation, but we had been for several years, and we continued to stay where we were, which was Western Oregon, a town called McMinnville, which is just south of Portland. It's a very, very beautiful place. However, it rains, a slow, steady drizzle, and it's dark from October to May, just about every single year. It's 7 to 8 months of darkness, and that impacted both of us in a very negative, a very difficult way. And we finally made a decision to sell our house and go to Mexico and experience different places, different things. We certainly love to travel, and on Tuesday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, we'll be headed back out to the beach house. And wherever we have a Wi-Fi connection or a phone connection, we are able to work worldwide. And some of you may be taking advantage of this opportunity. That's where we are. We love the heat and the tropics.
And the daylight.
It's wonderful. Daylight.
Well, I have to invite everybody right now for a few things. Here's my invitation to everybody. First of all, you've got to connect with Tomás on his Facebook page, because first of all, you just posted some incredible, beautiful cultural pictures of your travels there in Mexico. So everybody go to Tomás, T-O-M-A-S, with a cute little accent on there. And it's Garza, G-A-R-Z-A. And also I have to invite you to pick up his book. You've got to buy this book, Decide. I'll let you do the whole long title of the book and where they can get it in the final minutes, but I want them to pick up the book because they can pick, when you have this book, you can pick and choose where you'd like to start in this book. You don't have to start from, right at the beginning and follow it through the end. This book is going to be like a helpful tool, like a workbook for you at any point of you trying to decide and transform. And then thirdly, I want you to make sure that you catch this replay and do the meditation as often as you wish and share it with others. So Tomás, how can they go ahead and buy your book?
This book is available, Decide is available anywhere you buy books, in paperback or on ebook, and the audiobook does not yet exist, but I'll get to that. And you're more than welcome. It's available on Amazon, wherever you buy books, and you are more than welcome to visit my website as well, tomasgarza.com.
Yes.
That's tomasgarza.com, where I've got more information.
Yes, and we're definitely waiting for that audio book, because your voice is just perfect. It's a great speed and tone, and it really allows, I don't know what that is, but there's certain people have this voice that just they accompany you gently into a space. And so I know everybody's going to want that audiobook from you, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It'll be fun to do.
Yes, and I also make one final invitation as well, guys. This is not it for Tomás. He is actually going to be with us again this month on Monday, 3 weeks from now on the 28th, so October 28th at 12 p.m. noon here Eastern Time. And we are going to do another guided meditation and share with you more ways on how to turn your fictions, replace your fictions to truths. Thank you, Tomás, so much for co-hosting and sharing with me today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for co-hosting with me. This has been great.
Yay! All right, everybody, tune in next week to the regular show of Light on Living, and be sure to come with us here October 28th for Tomás Garza. Bye, everyone. Have a fabulous day and feel better.